like the way you said, I'm not being racist, just makes it sound more racist. Like everyone really need to hear this. You don't have to share your child's problem with others. Yeah.
Communication is the key.
Yeah.
Mm, everyone watching this podcast, our topic for this podcast is going to be about parenting, and especially since we are from India, so our topic is specifically going to focus Indian
Like Indian
parents.
parenting. Yeah. And
No,
for
like not every
yeah,
statement
not
we make is focus on Indian parenting, but in general, like if you take a generalization, Indian parenting, because we have been taught and raised in India,
hmm,
and we have no idea about other culture parenting, like how people are raised and brought up in abroad, like say Japan, Middle East, and other places in the country.
yeah. So mostly it is going to be Indian parent, and there might be some stuff that could we can just count it in general, right?
Hmm.
Also for all the kids who are watching, and also for the parents, because we don't actually know who is actually going to watch our video. So we hope that you will get something out of it, like something useful only. So I think we should begin. So what should we start with?
And we have like not very much how to say, how to put it, we don't have like very much of a grasp or knowledge with regards to this topic, but we're
Yeah,
just going to only share our own personalized experience and what we faced
yeah,
and
like from our
what
point of view.
from our point of view, and uh, what we have been seeing others facing, and based on generally based on experiences of the people we have been surrounded by and our own as well.
Yes.
And no, like during my school life and also during my college life, I came across certain people who were not Indian, somewhere from United Kingdom, somewhere Japanese, and somewhere from, what was the place again? Mexico City, and somewhere even African. So I'm not gonna be racist here or something. I'm just stating.
It's like just
See, just look at
just
the
saying the
smile at your
word.
face.
Nah,
The
the thing is that
African,
the way you
the
said it, like
African
I'm
flag,
not
by
being
the way, which
racist.
you believe.
Listen. Like the way you said I'm not being racist just makes it sound more racist. Like African, I'm not being racist.
Please
Yeah,
edit
that's
that
why I
part.
allowed. No, I think it's kind of fun. There should be a little bit of lightness on the podcast, or else it's going to be all serious.
So
Hmm. Get back to
shut it.
serious.
So like I have met and came across certain people who are not Indian, and from their point of view and from our point of view, parenting really differs very
Hmm.
much. And in our future statement and references, you're going to know why. So,
Okay.
would you like to?
Hmm. Okay, let's just start first with okay, we all respect our parents. You should also respect your parents. But there are some things that we need to communicate to them, which they might be, which they might not understand because they are thinking from the point of view of a parent. So they're not actually well, like like parents are like typical parents. Like for India, yeah. So like here, parents don't actually get that much involved in like your social life. It's like they will come to your parents' meeting, they will provide you with everything, but it's not like they will act like your friend. And just to be honest, parents can be friends, but not like friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like they can be your friends, but not the way an actual friend is. Because at the point of because every time you have to maintain that respect, you know, you have to know that yes, he is my father, she is my mother, and I just can't go like using slangs with them. Okay.
Of course
So
not. That you cannot do. You have to maintain. because at a point of time they're just not our parents, but they're also elders, and we always have been
Yeah,
taught in our life that you should maintain certain um, language and certain speeches while talking to your
yeah,
elders. There are
and
certain words
plus,
that we cannot use with
hmm,
people who are elder to us, and we respect them. It is a basic sign of showing respect to elders by not using slangs.
yeah,
And the other part of respect comes with, doing something nice for them and everything. That's all out of the topic.
hmm. It is in the topic. You should always do nice things. So yeah,
Like you
that,
were stating that
hmm,
we cannot share about our social life with our parents,
yeah, like
and
as
it
much as we
is,
want to.
yeah. And so based on my experience, I have been always said, like my grandparents always used to come over to my room, and they used to be like very suspicious about something that I have no idea about. Like I'm just maybe chilling or doing some of my personal chores, or mm hanging on some activities or some daily schedules that I need to finish,
Yeah,
and they just enter and they seem very suspicious about something that I have no idea about, or something I haven't done. And I just go on like, what is it? And they are like, you know what? I'm your friend. You can share everything with me.
yeah, yeah. I do get that. Classic.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that is where you really need to be careful, because you are just going to face a huge pitfall, or you're just going to end up throwing yourself in the damn shell. You
yeah,
have to be very careful while very much like being like you have to listen to that statement very
yeah,
carefully and make all the calculations in your brain as to what I just heard. Is it like true, or is it like
like a trick
wrong? Like
question.
they do say it, and they expect us to just simply um like spit it all
Yes.
out what we have inside us, and eventually they're going to end up judging us or embarrassing us, or maybe call like
Yeah, like
other
you'd be the topic of gossip.
yes, that's the thing.
It's like
So you
having tea,
just end up sharing.
my granddaughter, my grandson was like this. Yeah, he was just crying. I asked why. He just cut his hand. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it's going to be like that. So,
But it is actually quite disappointing, because when you are sharing about your like your daughter, or say granddaughter's
mm,
grandson or son
yeah,
privacy, something that you don't think is privacy, but it is actually private to him or her. You share it
mm,
with someone close to you, let's say your friends, or let's say someone among the family. You are not just embarrassing yourself, but you're quite embarrassing him or her too. You are putting a total shame in your family, because they are going to gossip it back to some other people,
yeah,
and then the cycle goes on, and the regret and the guilt arises as to the person who shared it in the first place, and they're like, I really thought that
yeah.
it
I
was
get,
my friend. I really thought of you as my friend. And it is not just with family, it also happens outside. That's why our parents always um, advise us to not share our personal feelings or our personal things with our friends.
outside.
People who think our friends are not friends, they are snakes. It's a very, uh,
Yeah, the world has
yeah,
become
it's
like
a
this. We can't do anything.
quote which, like, I guess majority of you knows. It's a saying that goes very well. But snakes are adorable, I personally feel.
Yeah, and still we are on the topic, the sharing. So, parents, you really need to hear this. You don't have to share your child's problem with others. Okay,
No, you
they are
don't
not
have
going
to
to
be
give you
so personal.
solutions. And I'm not just being see, it's just that because like especially in India. If like I'm not getting good grades, and then my parents would be going out seeing their friends, and they're like, you know what, your son is so good, he doesn't get good
No,
marks, and like,
comparing is a very bad thing.
yeah,
Comparing can put your child into misery and depression that your child would not get out of very soon. And then you would end up blaming your child as to why he or she is in depression, and you giving all the necessities your child, and yet your child is acting mm, miserable. But you should question yourself that what did just I do, or what did just occur, like just before my child went to in this behavior or in this misery. Because most of the time it happens that parents, they blame like the outside environment for
hmm,
their child's not doing well in life or not doing well in their grades, but they themselves don't know that they are, they may be from 9 to 5. I'm not speaking about job. Maybe from morning to, let's say, afternoon, they're spending um, their time outside in a school, institution, college, or any activities, anything. In case of homeschooling, you are always at home and sometimes you go out for activities, but at the end of the day they come back and they do spend some of their time at home indoors. So you have to be very careful, not just reconcile the facts or the things that are happening outside, but also what is happening indoors. What is the surrounding of your child? You should, like, it's very, yeah, it's very necessary for parents to question themselves first before comparing. We should also compare ourselves to their parents and see that what
yeah,
we are lacking in. I'm not saying that, I'm not complaining here that parents are lacking or something. I'm just saying that before you put your child in the box of misery that you are unaware about, you should also question yourself. You should also see that what are you willing to give in the box? What are you willing to put? Have you, it's not about just education and spending money. It is about reaching out to your child mentally and sometimes giving them the physical comfort they want, the physical touch. Let's say a hug, let's say a good night kiss, or maybe a good night story or something like that. And there goes a saying that my child is grown up, my child does not need all those comfort and physical touch. I feel embarrassed, but you never know. That's why you should always have a healthy conversation and communication with your child. Parents do end up getting mad sometimes. They think that their child are very demanding or something, but like you should, like, thinking about the past, putting yourself in your child's place when you were a child yourself, like you were a son or daughter to your mother and father. You should ask yourself that what was my demand, what did I want, and then you
hmm,
should make analyze based on your wants and
hmm,
demands that
yeah,
what your child wants, and then you will eventually figure it out. And there's a psychology, there's a saying that parents are always right. They think they're always right.
yeah,
But sometimes your children could also be right. You have to think about that.
hmm,
It's not always about yelling or complaining to other people that, my
yeah,
children are
not good
very
enough.
demanding. They are very
Yeah,
annoying. They do this that I don't want them to do. They do that. No one is perfect. Even you're not perfect.
hmm,
Even your children are not perfect as you want them to be. And also the people that you're comparing to or you are complaining to, there might be a possibility that somewhere out there, the same person that you just complained about, your children, they
hmm,
are scolding their children and comparing them with your child.
yeah,
So there
hmm.
is a possibility.
And the
And
thing,
there is always a saying, what you don't understand the value of what you have. So
yeah. And also like it's not because that they are comparing their good to do, it's like because there is a point that the child goes to, it's like I'm not good enough for my parents. Okay, it's like I'm not doing enough that they want me to do. So they go like into different kind of thoughts, which is really not healthy. And also another thing, emotional blackmail, you know, like I don't blame them, it's like unconsciously, but sometimes your parents are like, I do so much for you, but you can't do this little thing. I'm trying so hard here, and still there are no results from your side. And that's when a child feels like, really guilty about it. It's like, I am not good enough. I'm not trying enough to make my parents happy. They are doing so much for me, and I'm not even capable of doing such small things for them. But to all the kids out there, just understand that you don't have to take it on your heart. It's like, it's just that what they have been receiving. In their time, there was not no internet, no education about parenting actually. But today we have. So it's our job to let them know that is also, after saying all that, if you treat me with ice cream, I'll be happy. It's like that. Okay. So I know that's not from your heart. You are just saying so that I can do something better. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, parents do have a habit of pushing their children. They always expect us to do best in the society, shine brightly, and they expect us to break the norms that they couldn't. And secretly, they want us to do so many things that they always wanted in their
Yeah,
life. They think it's a taboo and we shouldn't do it, but when we do it,
yeah.
they are like,
They
oh,
are
I'm secretly, they are
they
so
are a
proud
bit
of me.
proud. Yeah.
So this podcast is not all about the negativity of
Yeah.
parenting, but there is also some positivity to it. And this is psychology, and this is very, very um, like it has been happening since ages, and we can do something about it, or we cannot. And I would say some middle-aged people out there, maybe in the
Mm.
age range of, let's say, 28 to 35, or in their 40s, um, if you have taken the decision of not getting married or raising a child, I support you, because you're not selfish enough. You're just enjoying your life.
Yeah.
You didn't um you didn't go through the societal norms of, oh, you need to get married, you need to have children by this age. Maybe you realize that you want to do so much for yourself, and it is for the best when someone realizes, maybe I won't be a good enough parent, so it's better to not have children. It's a good realization.
Yeah.
Wanted to be a parent, but they ended up being a parent because they really um, they gathered the courage and they thought somehow that they can do it. And you are doing well, I guess. And if you're listening to our podcast, I hope this really helps, and you could um, if you somehow we manage to uh, poke a hole in your heart, in your brain, you can comment down all the hatred, it's okay. But at
Yeah.
some point of time, our words are going to ring in your ear, you're going to think
Yeah.
that what they just said could be somehow, maybe I should go out there and communicate with my child. I should see what he or she is going through.
No, that's true. Like, we are not saying that what we are saying is the correct way of parenting. See, there is
Yeah,
no
it's
correct way of
just
doing
our
anything. Yeah.
opinion and views, like
Yeah.
it's just.
It's just what we think. We are just trying to
And
connect your
sometimes,
kids with you.
mm,
Hmm. So
and I
if
feel
our
like the
podcast,
push that we receive from our parents is sometimes, not sometimes, majority of the time, it's worth it, because
yeah,
see
it's
how
needed.
bright and how um, brave and strong we are holding, right, ourselves.
Yeah.
We are growing each and every day, because it's just not the people outside that teach us lessons to grow, but it's also our parents who push us, who are always giving us the statement of, you are not good enough, I wish I had a different child or something. And that gives us the very much of feeling of proving them more
Yeah,
and
that
being
yeah,
good
I'm
enough,
better than
standing
this.
out for them more.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's like that helps us. And I'm saying, like, you don't always have to be like all sweet to them, because when the reality strikes, kids need to be toughened up. Okay, it doesn't mean you can't beat them or anything. It's just that as a kid
I
I
feel
have
like
been beaten a lot. Okay, so but I don't regret it because I was that much of annoyance. Okay, if I just can think of my childhood, it's like, yeah, I was like
violence is
very
not the
annoyed.
key.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like violence. Violence is like, okay, if I'm doing something and it's wrong, okay, it's like suppose I'm playing with the sand and my mom is there. She will obviously give me a pat on my back, like, stop it. You have been here in this soil and mud for a whole day. Let's go inside, take a bath and everything. So that doesn't mean that they are being violent with you. They are just helping you to know that playing all the time is
Making
not
you
good.
disciplined enough to
Yeah,
not
you have to
create
be
a
disciplined.
mess.
Yeah, that there is a time to play, there is a time to study, there is a time for everything.
Yeah, somehow if we are disciplined in our life, our credit, obviously the credit goes to our parents because they have raised us well, and at the same time there are certain things that they need to keep in their mind. They really need to, because if they expect from us, what do
Mm,
we expect from them? And it is not bad, you're not like, sometimes parents say that I was telling her and she kept on arguing. It's not argument, it's just you sharing your opinion and your views with your parents, which your parents take as argument or
yeah.
talking back to them.
Mm,
So I think that it might be disrespectful to your parents. So my advice is to that, let your parent be calm,
mm,
let them have their moment of all the shouting and yelling that they are doing. Let it be, let it go, and then when they're calm and they are in their best mood,
yeah, like
you go
having
and view
tea.
in their mood. No, 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 not that.
Nah.
You don't go and view in their mood, but you just go and tell them that at that time when you were
Yeah.
shouting and yelling at me, I felt bad, and I think you should really take my feelings into account. And I know that you're my own, and you can do anything you want with
Yeah.
me. Parents think like that, okay? But I think there are certain walls that you don't need to break, because
Yeah.
I am not a robot who is not full of emotions. I am a
Mm,
human who is full of emotions. So
yeah.
um, I would really like, not I would really like, but just being, whatever you have inside of you,
Yeah,
just
just
tell it to them,
say.
because
Mm,
whatever is inside, just let it go to your parents. You just let it out, okay?
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if we are not honest to the people we are surrounded by, to the people we are eating our meals, we are sharing our daily lives, then there is no assurance that you're going to be honest and loyal to your friends or to the people that you're committing your life with. So
Or even yourself, right? Even yourself.
yes, true. So it is very necessary to, I know that it might hurt your parents,
Yeah.
it might question them, but they do question
Mm,
us too. They do
mm,
hurt us too. Let them let it all out. Reach out to your parents. Let your parents know that a healthy conversation is very much needed between a child and a parent, and let them not uh, put you in a state where you doubt yourself and where you limit yourself from all the exposure or all the things you want to do in your life. Let them know what your dreams are, what you can achieve, what you are capable of. If they're questioning you, question them back. It doesn't hurt. Once in a while, uh, healthy, effective communication really helps in every relationship, not just parenting.
yeah, yeah. That's true. And to continue that, it's like I would like to speak on the topic like trust and accountability. Okay. First, the parents need to trust their kids. Okay. It's like most of the time, if we have some ideas or something, I don't know why it's in their mind that uh, we are going to fail it. It's like, नहीं ये इसको नहीं करना चाहिए. I know they are speaking with their experience, but they are just looking at the world with their own experience, which most of the people do. There's nothing wrong with them. But sometimes it's really, you know, to like talk with your kids and understand their point of view, like why they think this will work, and then you can give your opinion that, see, the thing, suppose, okay, with your plan this is not going to work, add this one to your plan and it might get on track. It doesn't mean that they have to always, you know like decline whatever you are saying, but sometimes to just support, just give like their experience, little experience, like, what, move this thing a little bit here, a little bit there, that might look much better, like that, like the way they used to do when we were kids.
Basically, you are saying that before our parents give us a statement of you're not good enough, you cannot do
Yeah,
it, they should also give a reason as to why we
yeah.
cannot.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
instead
yeah,
of just
yeah, like just declining,
bashing
no.
their statement at us.
And the next point would
It's
be
not necessary.
accountability. And accountability,
Mm.
like,
Or maybe they just their anger strikes and they just
hmm,
say
yeah, it's
we
just a
cannot
thing.
do anything about
Yeah, but always have a talk, like she already said, right? Don't, I'm not very accountable, it's like they think, I am not able to take this responsibility on me. Like, suppose you are gonna be a class monitor, okay? Only 2 to 3 kids raise their hand, actually, okay, in India, obviously, where I have studied. Okay, very less people, very less students are there who will say, no, ma'am, sir, I want to be the leader, I want to be the monitor. And others like, no, I don't think it's for me, I can do some other thing, I can be a volunteer. So why is that? I think, let me give you a best example would be, when we are kids, okay, and when a kid start to, walk, okay, learns how to walk, and then he's running and then he falls down, okay. So here, uh, like Indian parents, typical Indian parents would say, "Oh, you fall off, stand up, kick the ground, hit the ground. He made you fall. He made you fall." And the kid will do that. And we grew up like doing that only. Like, it's not the fault of the ground that the kid fall, it's his own fault, right? Kids will walk, kids will fall, kids will get up again. But people, the parents really need to understand, like, these things later on turns out to, like, the kid being like, they want someone to be responsible. It's like, even if we are in class, we are talking, who is the teacher going to blame? Not us, the monitor, the class leader who is representing the class. So like, they don't want to take that on themselves. It's like a very really, um, heavy burden for them to, shoulder that.
it. It's like
Any thoughts on your part?
my thoughts would be just not just, it's not just about parenting, it is also about the children themselves. So I think
Yeah,
communication is the key here, and actively being a part of your child's life is also very necessary, whether your child likes it or not.
yeah.
There has to be certain boundaries, but at the same time, being part of your child's life.
Thanks to all the viewers to have been listening to our podcast. I hope it really helped you all, from the kids to the grandparents to the parents, everyone. I hope this helps, maybe in a
Every
little way.
people.
Yeah, yeah. Every age group out there, it helped you somehow, if not in a big way, a little. It's fine, right? So just try
Small
to
change
communicate with each
leads to
other.
big.
Small voices sometimes make it bigger. So, with those words, I'd like to say thank you for watching us, and we'll see you soon with our next podcast.